Lamin Manneh from the United Democratic Party, our guest on Coffee Time with Peter Gomez this morning. You mentioned the legislature there. Let's go there and start talking about some of the decisions, especially with regard to the 2024 draft constitution.
Yes.
The UDP is being blamed for, again, denying the Gambia the opportunity to usher in a third republic.
The UDP should, quite the contrary, be acclaimed for saving the Gambia from a nascent autocracy that Barrow was preparing for this country. When you have a president that set up the CRC, appointed all but one of the members of the CRC. He appointed the president, the chair of the CRC, all the commissioners except the deputy commissioner who was appointed by the Chief Justice. And the Chief Justice was appointed by him. So in effect, he appointed everybody on the CRC. Spent $116 million to get them to produce a constitution for us, which was adopted and approved by virtually all the Gambia people within the country and without. And you take it to him and he throws it out with the complicity of NAMS that he confessed on air to have bribed to vote against the constitution that he had prepared. These people prepared a constitution at his behest, spent $116 million to prepare that constitution. And then he goes behind them before submitting it to Parliament. He goes behind their back and bribes the NAMS to vote against it. He said he sent Majanko Samusa to bribe those NAMS. That is a treasonable offense.
You could have gone to court. Why didn't you?
Yeah, I wonder why we didn't. We should have, because that's a treasonable offense. And you see, he got away with that. And that constitution was very good and very well drafted. Nothing is perfect. But we just talking about compromise and things we can live with. That constitution was very good compromise and we could have lived with that. We could have tweaked a few things here and there. But those come in amendments in the constitution later on. But he threw that out and brought us a constitution which is going to make him an imperial president, where he doesn't have to account for anything. His ministers don't have to account for anything. He said, oh, but the NAMS, they will have to account for whatever they do. But me, my vice president, my ministers won't account for anything. You can't ask us questions. We can do whatever we like. We walk away. We don't owe you an explanation. We said when you come to government, you have to declare what you have. When you leave, you tell us how much you're living with. So we know how you manage our money. Did you embezzle? Did you misappropriate? Did you divert? We want to know that. We can hold you accountable. He said, no way. That's not going to happen. I will come, I'll do what I want, and I'll go. You have nothing to ask me.
No, when they come in, they will tell you what they have. It's only when they are leaving that you can't ask them what they are leaving with.
No, he doesn't even want to tell you what he has when he's coming in. But especially not telling you what he's living with. And that is the most important part. In addition, he tells you, you're not going to bridle my authority here because anybody I want to appoint, I can appoint, and you have no say in that. We say, no, you're serving us. You serve at our pleasure. So when you appoint people, you want to make sure that you're appointing the right people. What does he fear? The worst that could happen is we have very competent people. If you go to the National Assembly and your ministers, your ambassadors, your Chief of Defense Staff or the IGP, etc., they are vetted in Parliament, the worst that could happen is we'll have very competent people. Mm-hmm. If you are not, they will throw you out. So what does he fear? Because he wants to appoint incompetent people who are going to be subservient to him? We don't want that. We want people who are going to be stable to stand up to authority and speak power to speak truth to power. Yeah,
but the counter-argument to what you're saying is that you people are aiming to make the president a lame duck president.
No.
Where he has zero powers.
No,
I mean, you're claiming that he wants all powers,
yes,
for himself. The counter-argument is, your wish is that he has zero powers.
No, that's not correct, Peter, because what we're saying is we want a president that's accountable to the Gambians. You want to appoint a minister, it's still your prerogative to appoint one. We're telling you that you have to appoint somebody who is competent. You don't have to appoint somebody who's going to be subservient. So you're going to appoint somebody that the Gambians can approve of through their parliament. Appoint somebody who's going to be... So we allow you, we respect the fact that you will appoint the ministers. You will appoint the ambassadors, etc. You will appoint all of those top civil servants and military guys. But we will make sure that you give us people who deserve to be there. not people who are just going to be there because you think they will be subservient to
Yeah,
you.
but that's not the agreement. Okay. I mean, when he ran for office of the president, I mean, basically, he decides who goes into his executive.
That's what
so
happened.
We gave him the mandate, you know, to head the executive, and basically he should be free to say, well, I trust Lamin Manneh enough to bring him, you know, and do this job for me. It should not be the business of the National Assembly to now say, no, you can't, you know, take Lamin Manneh for A, B, and C. Then where's the power, you know, that's vested in a president?
That's why we decided to change the 1997 Constitution and bring in something different, because we don't want anybody to have so much power. You have to limit the power that people have and distribute it between the different branches of government. If you give anybody too much power, Peter, they will use it against you. They won't use it for you. 9 out of 10 cases, they will use it against you.
Like Jammeh did.
Like Jammeh did. You know, power is commonplace to say it, but power corrupts absolutely, and absolute corrupts absolutely.
True.
You give them too much power, they will become autocrats.
But the argument of the Justice Minister is that what you have in the 2024 draft is at least 85% of the document that you people are rooting for, the 2020 draft, the CRC draft.
That's what he wants to make people believe, so he's selling that argument. That's not true. This document contains over 120 changes and major changes. So just by taking out the chapter on integrity, you've taken away at least 30% of the document. Okay? Because these are the key clauses that will ensure good governance, integrity, and make sure that the country runs the way it's supposed to be for the benefit of the people. When you take that out, you take a good chunk out of the Constitution already. Plus all the other things that they added there to make Barrow an imperial president, give him too much power. This is the guy who tells you, you know, in his Constitution, the draft one, the 24th draft, when the president is elected, he can resign anytime he wants, and his vice president will take over for the rest of the term. He can be elected 1 year through 1 year later he resigns, and the vice president takes over, right? And this is the man who tells us, my vice president you will not vet. Anybody I appoint you will not vet. So what stops him from appointing his son or his wife as vice president? Nothing. He can do that and then resign and give it to him. So you have a monarchy starting up in the country. You think that's good for the country? Of course it's not. This is the person who, when we are trying to build skills and give our kids the education they deserve, tells you now education is going to be limited up to grade 9 or so, junior secondary school. Senior secondary school, you're not going to pay for it anymore.
Yeah, well,
when we should be looking at ways of paying for higher education.
Let's say
which is why the only minister I applaud in his government is the Minister of Higher Education, who is doing that for our kids. Bring them TVET. We just had the student loan that has been student loan scheme.
Whenever I have the opposition members, you know, praising Professor Pierre Gomez, I always fear that you know that
somebody told me. You know, I was here once and I praised him again.
Yes.
I praised him there too.
Yes.
Somebody told me, is it because is he related to Peter? I said, I don't know and I don't care really. I don't know and I don't care.
Related to me, that's why you would come to my program. I mean, he gets praised all over the place.
No, because
and I'm simply saying
I hadn't even thought about the Gomez.
Yeah.
And last time I was here, one of the times I was here, I said, if somebody called me and say, you praise, you're hard on everybody in the government, but you're praising Professor Gomez. Is it because he's related to Peter?
Well, unashamedly, unfortunately for that person, we are related, and
okay.
I'm really very proud of him.
Yeah,
but
you should.
He will tell you that I am one of his biggest advisors.
Good.
And I always advise him to stay away from those things that I come to the radio and criticize. If you're given $5 to spend on Gambians, spend the $5.
And until then, I had not even made that link that he could have been related to you.
Yeah.
And when the guy said, I say, I don't know, I don't care. Peter is my friend, but if the minister is his brother and he's doing a bad thing, I'll criticize him.
Sure, absolutely.
See, Peter will be the first to criticize him.
Exactly, it will start here.
Yeah. So what is the point? But look at the track record. You know, nobody will accuse me of complacency with this government.
That was just meant as a joke.
I know, but it's important. It's important because some people might think it like the guy who said it to me. You see, I'm not known for complacency with this government, and if Professor Gomez was doing something wrong, I would be hard on him like I'm on everybody else. But at least he's giving us the things that we want for our country, right? And look at what's happening on the campus in Faraba.
Maybe he understands the vision of Barrow more than the others, because whatever he does, he's doing on behalf of the president.
I say to myself, this guy sounds more like UDP and our 5-point agenda on education. Yeah, no, honestly, this is what we're saying in our 5-point agenda on education and youth employment. You know, the madrasa thing is the same thing.
Exactly. I was going to say when the madrasa thing came up, that, you know, I mean, UDP cut, you know, the section of Darbo's declaration on it.
Yeah, in 2020. And it's there. And the thing about student loan, we have it in our manifesto. So because you see, good ideas don't have nobody has a paternity for this. What we want is somebody to implement those. We criticize the government because we would want them to pick some of the things we're saying. Sometimes we say, you're giving a free consultation. I say, yeah, I should probably start charging them now. But we say the things we think they should implement. If they implement it, we would be fighting on ideas on how best to implement them, not that they are doing bad things. If you do the good things, we will look at whether we can do it better and more sustainably or not. But we will not be criticizing just for the sake of criticizing. No, that would be totally negative. So
what's the way forward on a new constitution? You can't just hold on to the 2020 draft having to be brought back.
Why not?
Lock, stock, and barrel.
Why not?
Well, this government will continue to disagree.
This government will not. The way forward is 2026.
And then we will go to elections in 2026 with the 1997 constitution.
We don't seem to have a choice.
And then everybody says, well, that constitution literally puts victory in the hands of the president.
No, it doesn't. Not anymore. Not anymore, because we have at least had the good fortune of having spot counting and all that goes with that. So that will allow us.
We had spot counting in 2021 and you still lost.
No, we didn't lose. The election was stolen. It's a nuance there. The election was stolen, and that will not happen again. 2021, we won, and they stole the victory. So that's why we're working.
Well, the courts didn't prove it.
Well, the courts, unfortunately, as I said, that's part of the problems we have with the judiciary sometimes, when it stays with the system instead of, standing independent. So the judiciary threw our case out because they knew if they examined it, they would have no choice but to declare the elections null and void. All the evidence was there. We adduced it. They just needed to look at it, but they didn't want to look at it because if they did, they would have to cancel the election.
Okay. So way forward?
Way forward, 2026, we beat Barrow and his government hands down, and then we bring a UDP-led coalition into government, and we do what is right for the country, and we bring back the 2020 Constitution, and Parliament, the National Assembly, I keep saying Parliament, now it's called National Assembly. Yeah. National Assembly will look at it. If they find things that need to, and there are things that can be changed in it. Like the clauses in there, people talk about the marriage clause and a few other clauses. They can be looked at in National Assembly. These are minor things that can be changed in National Assembly. Change those and we move forward. But bring that document. That document is fundamentally a very good document. Why do we have to go spend so much time trying to do something that we already have? We're not going to spend another 100 million or whatever trying to write a new constitution. We'll have one that's already very good.
Well, we might spend a lot of money trying to rework the 1997 constitution. It's one of the options out there now following the rejection of the 2024 draft.
Yeah, we could have done that clause by clause, and it's going to take a long time and it's fastidious. Why don't we just do one big replacement? And that's what we went for as a country. And that's what we had the opportunity of doing on the 2020 constitution, the draft. It didn't happen, but it's there. We only need to bring it back and resubmit it, just like they did, with the judicial remuneration bill and a few other things that they resubmitted. Nothing in law stops us from resubmitting that constitution. Okay. So when we come to power after 2026, we will resubmit it, and Parliament can deal with it.
Lamin Manneh from the UDP, our guest this morning. Let's quickly talk about elections, and for there to be any elections in this country, there has to be an independent electoral commission.
Yes.
Ali Momar Njai, who was, the chairman for years and years and years, retired finally earlier this year, and somebody was acting, in his place. But now the president has finally confirmed somebody in the position and brought in somebody completely unconnected with the IEC before to be his assistant.
Deputy, yeah.
All right. How does the UDP react to the appointments? Joe Colley, let's say, confirmed as the new chair, having acted after Ali Momonjai left, and now Alhaji Cherno Jallo coming in as his deputy.
Right. The UDP has not discussed it as a party yet, but for me personally, Ali Momonjai became a hero in the Gambia in 2016, in spite of all that happened before. He did the right thing, and he became a hero. Unfortunately, he spoiled that reputation for himself after what happened afterwards.
What happened afterwards? And when?
He was party to the theft of the election results in 2021. He was party to the elimination of a number of presidential candidates.
You know what the NPP will say? They're just clutching at straws.
Yeah, they would say that, wouldn't they? Because that's the reality, and they know it. You know, there's no point trying to avoid saying the truth about this, and that is the only way we will get over it, by saying the truth. The truth frees you, and that's something we need to do.
So, okay, you're accusing him of being complicit in whatever happened in 2021.
He was complicit in that, and he was complicit in eliminating a number of people who could have run, for different positions, president.
Was he not acting on what the electoral law said?
No.
I mean, if you didn't, fulfill all the criteria, why would he pass your candidacy?
No, you can't pretend to act within the confines of the law when you're subverting the law. That's what happened. When Ali Momonjai condoned, or maybe he didn't even know what was happening because of his age. I don't know. I'm not being age segregation advocate here.
You're not being an ageist.
Yeah. I don't want to use the term because, but yeah, I don't want to say that. But when these results were announced, everybody knew from before that something was wrong. And he was there, he just sat there and read the results. He condoned it. He went along with it. And the people around him went along with it. So the IEC is discredited from that point of view. When, after the Masembe elections, he wrote to Mr. Dabo, President Barrow wrote to Mr. Dabo to say, congratulations for your victory in Masembe. What did Dabo say? He said, thank you. That's the way elections are supposed to be. The winner wins fairly and squarely, and the loser congratulates him or her, and then we move to the next stage, and we prepare for the next round. But that requires also doing the right thing and having the right soft infrastructure in place to be able to do this. And that includes having an IEC that is independent, that is going to do the right thing. And he told him, now Momonjai is going, or he had already left, I can't remember. Now you have the opportunity to appoint somebody of integrity, somebody whose integrity cannot be questioned by anybody, to do the right thing. Once you do that, and you ensure that the elections are free and fair, we can get to the same results at the national level.
Does 𝒑𝒊𝒏 fit that bill?
𝒑𝒊𝒏 has a reputation for having been with the IEC when these things happened. 𝒑𝒊𝒏 has a reputation of having received money in his account which they refuse to have anybody audit. All of those things are hanging on his neck. Okay? Those things happen, they are in the past. 𝒑𝒊𝒏 now has a golden opportunity to redeem himself and his reputation by doing the right thing for the Gambia in 2026.
So even if
Momonjai did.
You're probably confusing him with the CDS.
With the CDS,
who is Mamat.
Yeah, Mamat, yeah. Exactly. That's my Fana, brother. Because I am from Salem, so we are close to the Fana. So, but yeah, that is the reason why we think he has here a good opportunity to salvage his reputation.
So you're giving me a second chance?
Oh, yes. We want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
To see that, things went wrong in the past. Now he is the boss of the IEC. He doesn't have any more excuses. I was with him in a number of fora where we discussed his election results. And he did sometimes recognize that, yes, things didn't go the way they could have or should have, which for me is good. So now he has the opportunity to redeem himself and to be another Ali Momonjai in 2026. Make sure that the results are fair to the country. His deputy, Chair is a friend from Gambia High School, another Gambia school guy. Another Gambia school guy.
That's the one thing I don't like about him. Great man. We're great friends, but he chose the wrong school.
Another Gambia school guy, and we were together in Gambia school. He was a year or two, I think, behind us in Gambia school. We met in France again. He came to France to study there too. And he would come spend holidays sometimes with us in Grenoble where we were. So it's a guy I know from very long ago. And I know Che to be a guy of integrity. Okay? And I hope and pray that that integrity stays with him. He was with the UN. He was in Congo, which is a very difficult place to be. And he came out with his integrity intact.
Before Congo, he was in the Foreign Service.
Yes.
For a very long time.
He was rose to the rank of Deputy Permanent Secretary.
Yes.
You know, when I left the Gambia government to go join the ADB, after I left, I was fired. I was fired after I left.
You could have asked for secondment, then you wouldn't have been
I asked for
fired.
secondment, it was refused. And I was promised secondment when they appointed me. And when I was leaving, they refused to accept my resignation letter. I said, well, sorry, I'm here for 3 months. And I told you when I came in that I interviewed for the ADB, if it works, I'm going. And you gave me the assurance you would take it as part. A lot of things happened during the time I left. And they fired me after I left and sent me a letter to ADB asking me to pay back 3 months of salary. I refused initially, but then I sent the money to Che. Che is the one who went to pay that for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You paid 3 months back?
Yeah.
Why 3 months? Usually it's just 1 month.
Yeah, they asked me to pay 3 months' salary, so I've sent it to Che. Che is the one who went to pay that for me.
You were earning so much.
But for the principal also, I don't want my name to be tarnished.
I know when I worked in Germany, I was asked to continue contributing to, is it the orphans and widows, whatever,
Okay.
in those days.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah.
I was making money, away from this country, but having to pay into something.
Exactly.
And I ended up being fired. And they told me, you lose everything as long as you are terminated or dismissed.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. I was fired.
Wicked system.
And, Che had the integrity in then to go pay for that money for me. And he sent me the receipt. I don't know whether he even remembers that, but he did. He went to pay for that. And then he sent me the receipt 2 weeks after I paid the company.
So just very quickly...
but I'm saying that this is a guy I know with a lot of integrity. And I hope that that integrity continues. We are not asking him to support UDP because we knew each other from long or we're supporting the other party. We just start asking him to do the right thing. And encourage Joe Colley and all the others on the IEC to do the right thing for the country.
Okay.
That's all we ask.
Okay.
That's not asking too much.